What's up guys, Nintenjoel here once again, and it's time for another collection video. This time we are focusing on the Sega Master System. Actually, this was requested by Mr. Shogun Death. I asked him which system I should do next, and he was just like, Master System? And I was like, sure, why not? So, yeah, Master System it is. This is a great 8-bit system that was unfortunately squashed by the NES, but in some ways was superior, and definitely had a wide range of awesome games. So let's check out what I have for this system. First of all, we just have my Master System here. I got this with, I believe it was 6 games for $60. Came with 2 original controllers, all the hookups, and a light phaser, which is already a good enough deal in itself. And I wish I could show you this other thing that I have, but I also have a case that it came in, like a rental case, and she swears that's what it came in. It doesn't say Master System in it anywhere, but it does say Travel Master. And I have looked it up, and there are Master System cases that are made by Travel Master. So that's pretty cool. I do have that somewhere, not really sure where. But the second thing I have to show you real quick is the... now this is for Genesis, but it's to play Master System games on your Genesis. And this is an amazing thing. It's the power base converter, and you can play the card games and you can play the cartridge games, and it's really great. The really awesome thing about this is it works in my Retron 5, so I can play Master System games in HD and be able to record them for you guys and hopefully do a review someday of those. I've already used it before. One of my last videos I talked about scary games. It was just 5 random scary games, and one of them was Master of Darkness for Master System, and I got it right off of that thing. Plugged straight into my Retron, so pretty cool thing for sure. So anyways, without further ado, let's get straight into the games. Alright guys, so we're just going to start this with the few cart-onlys that I have for Sega Master System. I've been fairly lucky so far and have managed to grab most of my games, either with case or actually complete in box with the manual as well. So I only actually have 5 loose games, and none of them are anything mind-blowing, but we're going to start here with Black Belt. Definitely not mind-blowing at all. Just one of those, like, standard martial arts, like, reminds me of Kung Fu on NES, but not as good. Lord of the Sword, fun, side-scrolling RPG-type game that I actually want to play more. Difficult game, though. Miracle Warriors, definitely like this game. Definitely want to get that complete in box. Looking to complete all of these, though. Space Harrier, this is actually the first Sega Master System game I ever got. Cart's a little dinged up. I got it for like $3. The store doesn't exist anymore. That store sucked anyways. And then we've got Thunderblade, a third-person perspective, like chopper fighting game. You know, you're in a helicopter blowing shit up. Not really that great of a game. But that's it for loose carts. Now we're gonna go on with the carts that I have that are the card games, which I only actually have a few of these also, 4 of them. First of all, we've got F-16 Fighting Falcon, and if you've never seen what the card games look like, they look a lot like Turbo Chip Hue card games on TurboGrafx. But yeah, that's it. Though I do have to admit, I kind of wish the TurboGrafx games were black instead of white. I mean, some were, but most were white. But yeah, F-16 Fighting Falcon, not that great of a game. It's like a first-person perspective jet game where you get to blow shit up also. It's a lot of blowing shit up on this system so far. So that's one of the card games. Then we've got Ghost House, which is actually a pretty fun game. It's kind of a weird, like, let me see if I can get it to focus on the screenshots here. A little platformy type game. You have to go and find treasures and items and stuff to get out, and yeah, it's actually pretty fun. Your name is Mick. But yeah, this one's also complete in box. I actually think all my card games are complete in box. Let me check to make sure. Yep, this one is. And then... you know what? I need to not open those because those are incredibly hard to close with the manuals. Not exactly sure why they released some of these as card games. I know they take up a little less space on the chip, but not really sure. Third one I have, Spy vs. Spy. Love the mad Spy vs. Spy stuff. It's pretty fun. And, yeah, very similar to the Nintendo one. But, yeah, Spy vs. Spy. And definitely my favorite of the card games, Transbot. Definitely taking a cue from Transformers, though it looks more like a GoBot. It's like Transformer GoBot. But, yeah, this game's actually pretty fun. It's a side-scrolling, like, shoot-'em-up. You can become a robot, you can become a little ship. It depends on what item you get, which is kind of random, and it's actually a really fun game. I really like this one a lot. I was after that for a while. Okay, then we've got two games that have 2 games each on them, and that is Hang On and Safari Hunt, the combo cartridge. And we all know Hang On, great motorcycle game, super fun racing game, really love that. Safari Hunt is one of those light gun games, fun stuff. And then we've got Marksman Shooting and Trap Shooting combo cartridge, and this one's pretty self-explanatory, not my favorite games to play. Okay, and then we've got Afterburner. This one's actually fairly fun. It's not too bad, but this is one of those, another one of those jet games where you're going around blasting shit out of the sky. But not too bad on this one, actually. Not too bad at all. Okay, then we get on to the Alex Kidd games. I have most of these. I think I'm only missing one. But Alex Kidd in High Tech World. Now, if I remember correctly, this is an import. I mean, we got this game in America, but this happens to be like a European version. Oh, nope, this one is not. There is one in here that is. But yeah, this one's complete. Alex Kidd, High Tech World. Fun game, actually. Very fun game. I like it a lot. Nice platformy, side-scrolling fun. Kind of like the mascot of Sega before they had Sonic. Then we got Alex Kidd, The Lost Stars. I think this one's American. It must be the last one that's an import. Oh, this one's got a cracked case and no manual. But Alex Kidd, Lost Star, I actually don't think I've played this. This is one of the most recent ones that I obtained. Actually, you know what? It does look familiar. Maybe I played this just to test it out, but yeah. And then we've got Alex Kidd in Shinobi World. This one is definitely an import, and this one's pretty hard to find, whether import or American. This is not an easy game to come across, especially complete in box. But this is a pretty fun game. I actually did have fun with this. It's a mix of Shinobi and Alex Kidd. I mean, it's pretty cool. So this one is complete in box, but as you can tell, the manual's sideways, and that's a good way to tell if your copy is a import, because our manuals in America go up and down. I'll show you with the next game, but yeah, these ones go sideways, so an import, but pretty damn cool either way. If I could get it closed. Alright, next we have Alien Syndrome. Very fun game, actually. I really like this game. Everybody's played Alien Syndrome, right? It's like the Alien version of, like, Gauntlet, except for not really, but kind of reminds me, just the top-down view. Aliens coming from everywhere instead of monsters coming at you from everywhere. And as you can see, this manual is completely trashed, but as an example, these ones are vertical, not horizontally printed. And yeah, fun game. I actually like Alien Syndrome quite a bit. I think I already said that. I'm repeating myself. And I should probably hurry up here. Got Altered Beast. Not the greatest port of Altered Beast. Definitely better off with the Genesis port. But impressive for the time. I mean, it's still Altered Beast. It's still fun. Definitely one of my favorites. Astro Warrior. Great vertical shoot-'em-up. Overhead shoot-'em-up. Whatever you want to call it. This game reminds me of that Game Boy game, Solar Striker, a little bit. But yeah, it's really fun, actually. I really like Astro Warrior. It's difficult as fuck, but it's a very good game. This one's complete, too, I believe. Yep. I don't think I'm going to open all these, but the decent ones I will. Definitely a good game. Aztec Adventure. This is an adventure game, obviously. Dealing with Aztecs, obviously. But yeah, it's really fun. It's kind of Zelda-ish a little bit. And I don't remember if this is... Yeah, it is complete. Nice. I know a lot of my Master System games don't have manuals, but fortunately these ones so far do, most of them. And then we've got one of the few not white-covered Sega Master System games. This one is Bomber Raid, and this one's actually pretty fun. It's also a vertical shooter, just like Astro Warrior. One of the few on the system, and it's actually really fun. Very hard, though. Very hard game, but highly recommended. I really like it. In fact, it's very 1942, 1943-ish. But yeah, Bomber Raid, really love the cover, too. I mean, who doesn't love that cover? Alright, I'll be back with another stack. Okay, and we're back with another stack. Here we go. We got California Games, which is a mix of a bunch of different sports that you can play, and yeah, it's actually pretty fun. It's not bad at all, actually. California Games is fairly fun. Then we've got Shoplifter, definitely a great game. Great, great game. This is one of the better ones you can get on Sega Master System. A great port, side-scrolling shoot-'em-up action, but you have to rescue soldiers. or people on the ground. It's kind of not unlike Defender, but a just much more advanced version of Defender, and a lot of fun. Definitely recommend that one. Next, we have Double Dragon, the port for Sega Master System. Now, this is not obviously going to be the greatest port ever, but in some ways it is a little bit more superior to the NES, I have to say, but especially visually. But the controls aren't as good, and yeah, I just don't like it as much as the NES version. I can't exactly figure out why, but this one is for 1 and 2 players for that, so that is pretty awesome, so definitely worth getting. This was a surprise. This is not an expensive game. Enduro Racer. This is a super, super fun game. Oh, there you go. I got it for $9.95. No, actually, I got this game for $7.50 because I remember I got 2 $10 games at that store, and they gave them to me for $15. The other one was Carmen Sandiego. So, spoiler alert, later on I'll show Carmen Sandiego. But yeah, Enduro Racer, this was definitely a surprise. I need to take that sticker off. No manual, but still really fun. Isometric, like, motorcycle game. And yeah, it's just really addicting and fun. It's a really great game. I was surprised. I just got it because it was Master System and I didn't have it, so pleasantly surprised. Definitely a favorite on the system, and most people's favorite on the system, or a favorite on the system, Fantasy Zone. It's got a couple weird spots on it, but no big deal. Fantasy Zone is a great fucking game, man. Side-scrolling, shoot 'em up, but cute 'em up, and super colorful and wacky, and you can go back and forth through the levels until you accomplish everything. There's a shop where you can get all kinds of upgrades, and it's just a ton of fun. This one is not complete in box, but it does have the game catalog, which is cool, but I do need a manual for this one, unfortunately. Not as good as Fantasy Zone. Fantasy Zone The Maze. This is like Fantasy Zone mixed with Pac-Man, and it's pretty odd. It's pretty fun. I mean, it's not bad. It's just, I don't know, the price is kind of high for a game that's like, meh. It's not super expensive, but I know it's more than $20. But yeah, it's nice and complete, super good condition. But it's an interesting game for sure. Something definitely worth at least like looking at. Then we've got Gangster Town. This is one of the first ones I ever got. It's a light gun game, I believe. Yep. And this is a lot like, oh, I don't know, Hogan's Alley or something like that. But it's really cool. You got cool levels outside where you're chasing people, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. Pretty fun. Don't play a lot of light gun games, but, you know, once in a while. Definitely not a great game. Ghostbusters on Master System. I think this one's actually better than the NES version, but it's still not that great. It's just kind of hard to control, kind of hard to figure out exactly what you're supposed to do. But there you go, Ghostbusters. Definitely a great game, but kind of the same story as Altered Beast. You got Golden Axe here, but you know, you're going to do much better with the Genesis port, of course. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's still cool to play Golden Axe in 8-bit, and the cover is just too much. He looks so derpy. It's so weird, but whatever. And then we've got... Okay, guys. I'm actually going to move everything out of the way here for a second. Okay, so the next one we have is definitely my most valuable. It is also one of the best games on the system, so it gets its own little place here, and that is Golden Axe Warrior. And I am super stoked to own this. It is one of the most I've ever paid for a game, which was $100. I don't generally pay cash for games, but I traded some games in, and then also paid $100 for this. But Golden Axe Warrior, crazy Zelda clone that is just amazingly awesome, and it's super hard to find, especially in case this is complete in box. And what blows most people's mind is that it does have that original UPC sticker, which looks like at some point during the year somebody scratched up and dinged up, but it's still there. And yeah, pretty awesome. Definitely the craziest game that I own for Master System. But not only is it, you know, inexpensive and hard to get one, it's not like it's not worthy. This is a super good Zelda clone. It's like if you took 8-bit Zelda and 16-bit Zelda and somehow met it in between. It's like the 12-bit. It's right in the middle. It's like a 12-bit freaking Zelda game. That's the best way I could describe it. It's like, graphically, it's like right in between Super Nintendo and Nintendo, which is kind of the same story for like Newtopia. on TurboGrafx. But yeah, this one deserved to get talked about a little bit. It's a hard game, though. Really finding your way around is kind of difficult. Anyways, on we go. Actually, another great game. Not nearly as expensive, though, but if you want a great RPG action-type game, or adventure-type game, yeah, not RPG, adventure-type game, then Gavelius is very cool. Valley of Doom, really cool Zelda-type clone, and a lot cheaper than Golden Axe Warrior, so if you're looking for something to itch that scratch, this is definitely the way to go. No manual on this one, which sucks, but whatever. Great baseball, who cares? Great basketball, who cares again? Great football, and in addition to who cares, this one's actually pretty dinged up. The freaking thing's all messed up, and it's missing crap, and yeah. Not exactly my nicest shape one, but not exactly one I'm in a rush to replace. Same with this one, great golf. It's all there, but it's got this nice little rip on the side. Woo, fun. And then last of this section, we've got another favorite, actually, and a cheapo. Highly recommend Considon. Cool ninja game, or I guess ninja game. Kind of kung fu type, ninja type side-scrolling action game, and I just really like it. There's something about it I just really dig. Got this from my buddy Jake, and I play this one more often than you would think. More often than some of the really expensive games that I have for the system. But that's it for that stack. And on we go. So we've got Missile Defense 3D. You know what? I don't think I've actually played this one. This is one of the few that I have not played, and I think it's a light gun game. Yep, light phaser, 3D glasses required. I don't have the 3D glasses. If anybody has a pair of those, they might want to trade. Let me know. Monopoly, call me a weirdo. I think most people would find this pretty strange considering I'm the RPG guy, but for some reason I like Monopoly video games. I used to play the NES one as a kid, and I really loved it. But this one I have not played much, but I plan on playing it. I actually want to get a lot of the Monopoly games for some weird reason. And then we've got a classic, Outrun, super fun game. Really like this game. Just a regular old racing game, but pretty fun. I really like it a lot. And yeah, just a classic. One of those ones I used to play in the arcade all the time, or at least I did. Parlor games, nothing special here, just a bunch of, you know, billiards and freaking games like that, darts. This one's fun. One of the first ones I ever got, too, from my buddy Trent. He gave me a bunch of games that he had found at a thrift store for super cheap and gave me a crazy good deal for it. But this is one of them, Penguin Land, and it's actually one of the better ones, too. It's one of those cool, like platforming games that's like mostly a one-screen type deal, like an arcade game, but it's actually really fun. Penguin Land is definitely recommended. Kind of an uncommon one. Seems like I don't see that one very often. Oh man, here we go. Definitely one of my favorites for sure, for sure, for sure. And this one does have a little bit of damage on it, but Phantasy Star, you can see it's got water damage up and around here. But yeah, I got a really good deal on this. I think it was $30 complete in box at a Goodwill. A buddy picked it up for me, and I paid him later on and kicked him down a game for doing it. It is complete in box. It is beat up. It's got some writing on it. Way to go, Randy Miller. Thanks a lot. But the cart's in good shape, and yeah, just being able to put it on my shelf is fucking awesome. It's fucking rad. It's Phantasy Star. This is one of the next games I want to beat for sure. Okay, so this is a cool story. The very first Master System game I ever played was as a kid. I had a cousin in San Diego that had a Master System, and I remember playing Quartet as a kid. So I had always been after this game as an adult, and first I had to get a Master System, and yeah, it took me a while to get this, and my buddy Kevin hooked me up with this. Can't remember where he got it, but he had a few games that he hooked me up with. And it is complete in box, and no joke, this may be one of the cheaper games on the system. It may not even be one of the greatest games on the system, but it's the one that is the most nostalgic for me, and it's a lot of fun. It's a side-scrolling, platforming shooter, kind of like a run-and-gun, but more platforming, and it's very difficult, but it's very fun. So, alright, next one we got. This one's really fun. I do like the TurboGrafx version a little more, but, I mean, that goes kind of without saying. But R-Type, really cool cover art, man. Holy shit, they didn't do the cover art very good on a lot of games. Quartet's a great example. But like R-Type and Phantasy Star, they definitely did a great job on it. I actually even like the grid thing going on when they do it right. But definitely one of the better covers. And side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. If you don't know what R-Type is, you're missing out. I don't even like side-scrolling shoot-'em-ups that much, but R-Type is a classic. All the R-Types are great. So, yeah, fun game. Rambo, First Blood, Part 2. That fucking title just kills me. Just, anyways, it's Rambo. It's overhead. Run and gun, I believe. This is kind of like Commando or Akari Warriors or something like that, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I played that, but that's what it looks like from the back. And definitely a cool port, a very good port. Rampage, I actually prefer this port over the NES version. Not really sure why, but it's very fun. I really like it. And it's two-player action, and it's one of the few games that, again, has the cover that's not white. You got Bomber Raid and Rampage. Those are the only two that I have that are not white. The rest are all colored like the grid. The white grid. Okay, now this is definitely... Uh-oh, Cheese is going to try to jump up here. Oh, and he sneezed. Hi, Cheese. Cheese wants to say hi, so we're going to just... Messy bed. Hello, kitty. Hi, bud. Okay, sorry about the interruption. We've got one of my favorite games on the system, and another one that's not really that expensive, but is fucking amazing. Rastan, whatever. It's a Taito game, so you know it's going to kick ass. That cover kicks ass. You just know you're in for some barbarian axe-swinging action. You can swing on vines and go through all kinds of platforming and side-scrolling action, and it's just a lot of fun. Got a sword. Fuck shit up. Cheese. You're being a little obnoxious right now. Okay, next we have something that is definitely not important, Reggie Jackson Baseball. Though I will say, back when I was a kid, Reggie Jackson was the shit, and something's rattling around in here, so there's definitely a part of a broken case or something. Yep, that's nice. So, thanks a lot, Reggie Jackson. Looks like he slugged that out of the case. Okay, and then we've got... Wabang! Rescue Mission. This is actually one of my other first ones, and this one's actually pretty fun. There's a rescue mission on another console. I want to say maybe NES, but I don't have it. I've never tried it, so I don't know if it's the same, but you go on these tracks, and you have to rescue people. That's about as best as I can describe it, but it's actually pretty fun. And then we've got Rocky. Not sure I've ever played this before, but it's a boxing game. Yeah, but it's a licensed boxing game. Rocky kicks ass, so this could kick ass, and this is for 1 or 2 players, which is badass, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure I've actually played that one or not. Definitely a good one, Shinobi. Who doesn't love Shinobi? I used to play this at 7-Eleven in the Bay Area. They had an arcade cab of it, and just always fell in love with those like ninja-type games, but complete in box. Freaking awesome game. Slapshot, contrary to popular belief, I do like a couple sports games, and they're generally hockey, and yeah, this one's pretty badass. I mean, haven't played a lot or anything, but it's pretty badass in my opinion. And last one for this section, we've got Spider-Man. If I remember correctly, I was not a fan of this game, but it's been a long time since I've played it, so I'd have to go back and try it again, but yeah, Spider-Man, pretty cool. Just to own it, and I really like the cover. I love Spider-Man art. Pretty awesome stuff. Alright, so that's it for that section. Got another chunk of games for you coming. Alright guys, only 10 more games left. Woohoo! So, first of all, we've got Time Soldiers. Actually, a pretty fun game. This is another, like, overhead run and gun. Pretty fun. I like it a lot, actually. Only 10 games. 9 games now. Walter Payton Football. Oh, boy. It's funny, I just found this one loose not that long ago and gave it to somebody. Can't remember who, but yeah, Walter Payton Football. Nothing too horribly important there. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I didn't take that sticker off either, but yeah, this is one of the ones that I got for $7.50 basically, because it was 2 for $15. But everybody knows this game. I played it on PC when I was a kid. One of the few games I played on PC. Wonder Boy in Monsterland. Wonder Boy series is pretty good. I mean, if you like equipping items and you like adventures and you like having your heart represent... You like your life being represented by hearts. That was really hard to say. Yeah, there you go. Wonder Boy Monsterland. Great game. I mean, super fun game. You cannot go wrong with the Wonder Boy games. And especially you cannot go wrong with this Wonder Boy game. Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap. Holy shit, this game is so good. So good. More adventure, side-scrolling, sword swinging action, but you're a dragon for part of the time, and oh man, it's so good. So good. I think you're a dragon most of the time. I haven't played actually that much at all, but from what I've played, it's one of the better games on the system. Same with this, actually. I got this not too horribly long ago, so I haven't played it a ton. I've been immersed in some other RPGs, but Ys, The Vanishing Omens? Or Vanished Omens! Oh my god, I've been saying that wrong the entire time. I just noticed that recently, and I still have a hard time not saying vanishing. But, yeah, it's a badass overhead RPG. You don't actually swing the sword, it's just got the bump mechanic where you just have to bump into enemies to hit them, which sounds cheesy, but it's actually pretty fun. But, yeah, I've been after this for a long time, so really stoked to get that. And then we've got another great game for the system, Zillion. The closest comparison I can come to this is, like, almost Metroid-y, but because it's exploratory, but it's crazy. You have these, like, cards that you have to get, and they have passwords on them, and you have to go to these stations and enter the passwords to get on to the next part, but it's very exploratory, back and forth. It's pretty cool. But Zillion's pretty badass. First one kicks ass. This one, though, Zillion 2, not so great. Really not that great. Not really that big of a fan. More side-scrolling action. Motorcycle stages suck. Controls aren't as good, but still kind of cool. I mean, nothing to scream about. It's just that Zillion's so much better. Okay, 2 more games left, and both of them are kind of special. That's all of the games for the regular old set that I have. But I do have 2 more special ones. First of all, I have a repro, and that repro is really awesome. This is actually a Game Gear game. I want to say this is Power Strike 2. I think that's what it's called on Game Gear. I'm not really positive, but I asked my buddy if he could make this into a Master System game, and he actually did. So we've got GGLS 2 for Master System. Badass overhead shoot 'em up action, awesome music, just a lot going on. Super impressive for the time. It's really impressive. And yeah, it's pretty badass. So this is something that you can have made by people in case you've never seen this before. It is amazing if you want to play Power Strike 2, which is a fucking expensive game. And then the last game I have for you is an import. This is unlike the other import that I had, or couple imports that I have that were released in America. This was not released in America on the Master System, but it's kind of similar to this because it was released on the Game Gear, and that is Master of Darkness. On the Game Gear, it's called Vampire Master of Darkness, but this game is amazing. I've talked about it before. It's one of those side-scrolling Castlevania clones. Side-scrolling, but you've also got platforming, but I mean, if you just look at the pictures, I mean, this is Castlevania clone through and through, but you have a sword, you can equip different weapons and stuff. Not equip different weapons, but you can get different weapons by slashing these little phantom faces. They're like candles in Castlevania, and they release different weapons. The one thing about this game, though, is that they'll give you a shitty weapon, and you have to avoid it, and sometimes you're just going through slashing little phantom faces trying to get as many items as you can, and you accidentally pick up a knife, and you're just like, oh crap, and it sucks. And it always happened right before a boss, too. It's just terrible. But that's it. There you go. That's my Master System collection. Alright guys, that's it. That is my Sega Master System collection. All kinds of goodies on there. What an amazing console. Highly underrated. It's got great graphics. It's got amazing color. Great sound. I just don't really like the controls as much. I hate the way the A and B is switched on most games, and I don't like the control pad as much. But other than that, I mean, it's really a great system. And actually, you can use a Genesis controller on one of these, so that actually is very helpful. But I wanted to tag 3 people and see if they would show off their Master Systems collection. Master System collections. It's really hard to say. Anyways, the 3 people I am tagging are going to be NES Addict. What a cool channel. If you're watching my channel and you're not watching NES's channel, you should probably get over there, unsubscribe from my channel, and subscribe to his channel, because he has much better content than I do. Actually, all of these three guys do. So NES Addict, if you can show off your collection, that would be absolutely amazing. And then, let's see, let's go for the Game Grinder. I haven't tagged the Game Grinder in a long time. Be really badass if you can show off what Master System collection you have. That would be really rad. And then last, let's go with the old-ass retro gamer. I know he collects Master System. Shit, he collects everything. Of course he's got Master System laying around, so hey, why not, Chris? Go ahead, show off your collection, get another video under your belt. Why the hell not? And, yeah, leave a comment down below, everybody. Let me know what you thought of the collection. Let me know what you think of those channels I just tagged, because they're all excellent, better channels than mine. And, let's see, what's your favorite Master System game? That's a great comment. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for another visit. That would be amazing. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you very much for watching, and keep rocking the retro games. Okay, so that's it. That'd be my Sega Master System collection. All kinds of awesome games. Thing about the Master System is most people don't realize how it gives you the hiccups. I mean, it's a gassy system.